Hi viewers, it's Ben Gray here from @Newsworthy Publications with a quick round-robin video in respect to another no good wrong'un, as I would have it, a lady called Fiona Lamdin, and she's apparently the lead social affairs editor, or at least it was until recently, for the BBC here in Bristol. And I allege that she has colluded in these same allegations that I addressed to the judiciary here in Bristol and the High Court judiciary in terms of colluding in child abuse, perverting justice, misconduct in public office, kidnap, torture, perjury, attempted murder, and the like. Obviously, all the evidence for these allegations are set out in my various videos: Barbarians at the Gate, Judge Martin Picton Must Fall, etc. I referred Miss Lamdin as the local BBC correspondent, senior BBC correspondent for the Bristol area, to links to my video documentaries on the 11th of October 2024, i.e. earlier this year, a couple of months ago, and I said that I had all these evidence proving the allegations I've just set out against various of the judiciary, the CPS, and the police. And would she or a colleague be interested in looking into and verifying whether I can substantiate these allegations in terms of the egregious corruption, gangsterism that I'm attempting to highlight to the wider public? Of course, needless to say, not a word has come back from Miss Lamdin. Obviously, it's not clear whether she would have directly or indirectly have knowledge of the email, but of course she is, as the lead correspondent for our organisation, for the BBC, she is ultimately responsible for what they do and do not publish. And obviously there is a thin line, a very thin line, between decision not to publish something and a cover-up. And of course we know the BBC are famous for their cover-ups, even in terms of their own wrong-uns within their own organisation. We know about Jimmy Savile, we know about Hugh Edwards. The list is quite considerable, so I won't bore you with every single individual in that organisation. So obviously it's a bit of a tall order to expect that same organisation to take an interest in the kind of abuses outside of the BBC, when they've obviously got their hands full covering up their own abuses within the BBC. That having been said, obviously the BBC is the most influential and powerful media outlet organisation in the country, and is nominally supposed to have an interest in such major abuses of office as I'm complaining about in my and pointing out and evidencing in my videos. And of course, I haven't just left it at the email last October. I've called the BBC many times. They are actually not just make a point of not being interested, but they are often verbally abusive and almost always hang up on me halfway through, trying to understand why they're taking no interest in the stories, in the allegations that I'm making. Bearing in mind, all they have to do is click onto the link on their own computer, and it will take them straight to the videos, and the videos themselves contain hard evidence, irrefutable evidence, to support my allegations in terms of film footage, statements, medical records, and so forth. And you can see that Miss Lamdin here is very pretty. She's probably, assumingly, one would assume, very well educated. So she's the pretty, face of BBC Bristol. But behind that pretty exterior is the most venal and corrupt and wicked, cowardly correspondent reporter you could possibly imagine. The regime in Bristol, spearheaded by Albion Chambers, the barrister Chambers here, obviously they control everything. They control the media. They control by bribes or by other means, coercion, etc. Pretty much anything that is published or not published, in the same way as any tyrannical regime in Russia or Syria, or any country like that you care to mention. That they're really no different, and you would expect from the BBC, they are overtly hostile to anybody that tries to blow a whistle or point out serious wrongdoing within various institutions, including, as I've just mentioned, themselves. So, as I say, it's just to put it out there, put a name there out online, and to accompany this video, I will obviously publish various posters and put them around Bristol in the hope of getting some kind of interest. But just to be aware, I stand by my allegations that Miss Lamdin is a corrupt and evil and wicked and cowardly, blood-stained female of the highest order, and please don't be fooled by her £350,000 a year smile. She's just a liar, basically. That smile that we see for the anybody that goes and looks up her name is a simply a mask that hides behind that mask is the every type of corruption and wickedness that you want to imagine within the Bristol area at large. Obviously, silence is violence. That is the expression that we hear used from time to time, and of course, the more the BBC remains silent on the outrages that I have suffered, and then, of course, presumably many others have suffered, because I can't be the only person to have suffered the kind of injustice, the institutionalized injustice that I've suffered at the hands of the Bristol Police and Judiciary and CPS. Obviously, the point that I tried to drive home every time I put one of these information videos online is that obviously if they can do it to me, they can do it to anybody, and that is why it's called perverting public justice and misuse of public office, because the important word in those two offences is the public, and of course the BBC ostensibly are supposed to be serving the public, not a few corrupt bigwigs in the judiciary or simply themselves. But of course, as I've tried to point out, and I will spend the rest of my life trying to point out, that is exactly what they are concerned with. They are concerned with themselves, and obviously the people the nearest to the source of power that enriches them and advances their careers, and anybody that's below the radar, such as all the victims of the Savile outrage and Hugh Edwards, don't have a voice at all. To the extent that people like Hugh Edwards walk in and out of a courtroom in 20 minutes. So this is simply my trying to alert the public in every lawful way I know how to the egregious evil that is Miss Lapin and the organisation Lamdin, or however you pronounce her name, and the organisation she serves.